Greetings, children of time and space. It's your host, TheAmariaShadow, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back once again to some more of Ace Attorney Investigations. So we're going to continue where we last left off in the last live stream. We're going to be tackling the second part of Episode 5, Turnabout Ablaze. So without further ado, let's get started on our way to today's adventure and see what's in store for us. Allons-y! March 14th, 7:44 p.m. Theatrum Neutralis Lobby. Count off! One! Shifu, 99 call-out, so all 99 members are most likely here and counted for, sir. Hey, you. Yeah, you, the second number 1 from my right. Sir! Yes, sir! Here, a birthday present for you. What? Shifu, I didn't know that you do all of our birthdays. What a kind heart you have. Shifu, you are more of a man than we'll ever be, sir. I'm really sorry, but it's not my birthday. Oof. Lang Z says, a cub who disrespects others soon feels the disciplinary bite of an elder. That present isn't for you. It's for your younger brother's wife's younger brother. Tell him I said hi and happy birthday, won't you? Yes, sir! Shifu, I can't believe you remember that much about each of us. Shifu, I'm so moved that I can't stop crying. I should probably leave them to their alone time. Alright, meeting's over. Everyone, head for your posts. Dismissed! Sir! Yo, were you guys there the whole time? I got a call from Sheena, and she's already filled me in. It sounds like you're out to get in my way again. I have absolutely no intention of interrupting your investigation. I simply requested to grant me permission to investigate the Alabastian embassy. And what if I say no? Agent Lang, this man is my subordinate. As I have received permission from the ambassador, he is to be extended the same rights. Sorry, sis, but it's not that simple. Alabasta is the strictest immigration regulations in the world, didn't you know? Even among my elite men, about only half of them are admitted into the country. Besides, any more cooks in the kitchen, we might spoil the soup, if you get what I mean. How dare you make such assumptions? Don't take this the wrong way, but I thought I was in charge of Alabasta, Miss Von Karma. Ah! Look, try to understand, okay? Things over in Alabasta are a bit of a mess right now. What do you mean by a bit of a mess? No one told you? We had an incident in Alabasta as well. This is what we call a decision based on the investigation, Mr. Prosecutor. Look, Wolfie, just let us in already. Is there a problem here, Agent Lang? Not really. Just having a discussion about whether or not to let these guys in. Ambassador Alba, I ask that you please allow these people to join the investigation. Having a debate because of my country. I'm terribly sorry for placing you good people in that kind of situation. It is all because I lack the strength to govern well. Please, it is nothing of the sort, Ambassador. You weakling Kirkus! Curse your frailty and inability to effect change in your country! What are you... The thing is, investigations conducted in my country have been under Agent Lang. And it is my judgment that in order to minimize disruption in the investigation, I should leave everything up to Agent Lang. There, you see? Oh, no way! Ambassador Alba, I ask that you to please reconsider letting them into Alabasta. What's that? My very own secretary has been murdered in the Babalese embassy, and he was apparently caught up in some very shady dealings completely unbeknownst to me. So I ask for your cooperation in our investigation. These aren't much, but I hope they can cover your travel expenses to Babel someday. Alright, I get it. Even if you beg Ambassador Alba, I still have to give the final okay anyway. Alright, you hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? We're in! Not so fast, my little crow girl. You're still a witness in the Babel murder, so I'd like you to please stay in the Republic of Babel. Since I succumb to you, please take good care of Kay for me. Yes, sir! Sounds good to me. The fewer troublemakers, the better. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? So I wanted to ask you for a while now, but that lady over there, is she who I think she is? Ah, that's right. I didn't introduce the two of you yet. Franziska von Karma, the prosecutorial prodigy. It's nice to see you again. Ooh, I knew it! You're the whip lady! You may address me as Miss von Karma. Miss von Karma, I leave the investigation of Alabasta in your hands. Thanks. Rest assured, I will outsmart both the smuggling ring and the Yatakarase. The smuggling ring, huh? Perhaps I should ask Franziska a bit more about them before I head into Alabasta. Ah, and I mustn't forget to thank Ambassador Paleno for all that he has done for me. Ambassador Paleno, I am in your debt. No, it's nothing. Because it's about all I can do for you, I'm afraid. I only ask that you please bring Manny's killer to justice. I will, Ambassador, on my honor. Wow, you're so sensational! You've really piqued my curiosity. I know they aren't much, but know that I'm giving them to you wholeheartedly. No, that's quite alright. Oh well, how about this, then? And what exactly is it? It's fountain pen ink, known as Babelese ink, is made exclusively in Babel. This is Babelese ink. We make it from white and wit crystal oil, which is mined through our mineral mines. Please accept this ink. One dip of your fountain pen in this, and you can write for hours in your organizer. How fortunate for me. The ink in my pen just happened to have run out. I gladly accept your gracious gift. Great! Wonderful! I guarantee to you that writing with our ink is an unforgettable experience. And since we don't export it, if you run out, you're always welcome to come and visit our fair nation. Talk about cornering the customer along with the market. You made so much progress in your investigation in such a short period of time. It's truly amazing. Agent Hicks, whose help I had requested, was cut down before he completed his task. There is no room for further failure in my perfect investigation. In spite of that, I believe you were able to obtain some insight into the ring, correct? It was nothing. I simply made some deductions based on the smuggled item I was following. You mean the Babelese ink? But why are there restrictions on the export of Babelese ink to begin with? That's classified Interpol info. Hold it! Franziska, as your subordinate, I'm a part of your investigation now. Don't you think it would be beneficial if I was as well informed as you? Point taken. Very well, I'll fill you in. Recently we discovered some very well-made counterfeit bills circulating in Shangfa. Counterfeit bills? Yes, as you may have deduced, the counterfeits are being made with Babel's special Babelese ink, and it's virtually impossible to distinguish bills made with Babelese ink from real ones. Thus, it was only natural for Interpol to keep an eye on the Republic of Babel. That's where this document comes into play, correct? Correct. Mr. Koken was smuggling large amounts of Babelese ink. Furthermore, he was charged with running the embassy's printing equipment. That's all the evidence I need to know that he was the head of the smuggling ring. However, there remains one tiny problem. Let me guess. You still have yet to find the counterfeit bills or the smuggled ink? Yes, and while we're listing things, I might as well add the counterfeit plates to the pile, since we haven't been able to locate any of these items in the Babelese embassy. We're looking into the Alabastian embassy next. It doesn't matter where they're hidden. Mark my words, I will find them. Well, shall we get going? What's wrong, Kay? I didn't get permission to enter Alabasta, so we're going to go gather whatever info we can over on the Babelese side, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you two. Right, and I'm counting on you and Miss Von Karma to sniff out clues in Alabasta. Oh, and Mr. Edgeworth, if you happen to come across my phone, you let me know, okay? If you tell me, I'll rush on over straight away, no matter where you are. I'll let you know when the time comes. Mask the Mask! It's Mask the Mask! March 14th, 8:17 p.m. Alabastian Embassy Ambassador's Office. do you think you're doing to my subordinate? You're... Auntie! Oh, thank the heavens you're here! I'm in a really, really big pickle, your lordship! The raven had appeared, poof, and then disappeared, swoosh! And though I am the steel samurai, my sword, I'm so confused, I don't know what anything means anymore! Who is this fruitcake? I am Larry of the House of Buds, married man of Neo Old Tokyo, milady. Now I remember. This person is one of your friends, isn't he, Miles? Yes, frighteningly enough, he is. Hey, what's up with that answer? Your best bud is in a bind and you act like it's no big deal. What sort of bind are we talking about here? The suspect kind! I suddenly became a suspect in a murder! I see. That is quite the bind. Not that we're in the least bit surprised. Yes, I pretty much expected this news. From the instant I saw this unlucky face. His name is Larry Buds. I've known him since grade school, and for as long as I've known him, he has been the world's largest source of trouble with a capital T. Hey, what kind of introduction is that? You're so mean, Edgy! If you're not careful, you might find your tiny number of friends go down by 1. That was uncalled for. Besides, you're... Wait, hold on. Larry? It was you? You're the one who wrote my Steel Samurai autograph? Oh, you didn't notice earlier? I even winked at you through my headpiece. What's going on? And why are you beet red? Sorry, but could you not speak to me right now? Oh, sorry, am I interrupting your comical yet melodramatic play? So this is the incident you mentioned earlier. Mr. Prosecutor, this man, the childhood friend of yours, is our prime suspect. Of what, you ask? Of the murder of a man who has snuck into this embassy. Master Mask the Second! Master Mask the Second? Only Larry could get himself into yet another mess as fine as this. But no matter what the facts seem to say, Larry is not the type to commit murder. Still, it's a rather daunting stroke of misfortune I've struck. I have to prove that Larry Butts is innocent of all wrongdoing. Shifu, I've identified the victim. Good work. I'll take that report now. Agent Lang, would you mind if I took a peek at it as well? What did I tell you earlier, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't get in my way! There's only enough flesh here to feed one wolf, and that one is me. So no, you may not take a peek. But Agent Lang! Hey! The goat! Agent Lang, will you allow an investigator such as myself to take a look? Ah, yes, of course. You. Let the detective see the file. You're Detective Bad! You're the prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth, right? Fancy meeting you here, Detective. You weren't expecting me? Ever since that day 7 years ago, I've chased after the Yatagarasu, non-stop. I've been pressured Interpol, keeping me in the loop, in case a card was ever found. What incredible dedication to the case! Detective Bad knows the Yatakarasu's M.O. very well, and his passion for the chase hasn't died down in these 7 long years. It's something I can respect. But Detective Bad, I must ask, are you going to make an ally out of this prosecutor? My only goal is to arrest the Yatagarasu. If you can get to the bottom of this case, then I'm willing to share info with him. I am in your debt, Detective Bad. About the murder of the Master II, would you be willing to fill me in on a few of the details? When the Yatagarasu showed up, Agent Lang and I took ourselves off guard duty and put ourselves in charge of directing things at this crime scene. Taking advantage of the chaos, the Master II, he broke into his embassy. Probably to steal some treasure or another. And I suppose he lost his life when he was forced to fight someone else in this room. Why exactly was that man placed under arrest, Detective? That samurai? He was born looking suspicious, but not for the reasons you'd expect, I assure you. As you can plainly see, he is completely harmless. Well, it was just a random guess. It's not like he's actually under arrest. Tonight, here at the Alabastian Embassy, Ambassador Alba was to give a commemorative speech, and that's when the Yatagarasu showed. But keep in mind, the Yatagarasu isn't who I'm talking about right now. Those seats, for the guests who have been called to sit in them, were empty. A no-show? Who was it that failed to take their seat? The Steel Samurai. Until the speech was to begin, each member of the entire Steel Samurai family was to wait in a separate room. However, for some reason, that man was spotted in a different location than his assigned room at that time. And where was he? He was on the roof, with one of his legs down a chimney. That chimney leads directly into this room. Ah! Larry Butts, you really outdone yourself this time. What were you thinking? In any case, I believe it's high time for me to start my investigation. There are some weapons on display on this wall. A crossbow, and under that, a set of knives bearing a flower motif. They must be the counterparts to the Babylonis knives, which means that the blades inside these scabbards should match the blade that was used to kill Mr. Koken. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Knives adorned with flowers are on display here. I suspect that these are the counterparts to the Babylonis knives. The blades of these knives should match the blade of the knife that killed Mr. Koken. What? One of the knives is missing its blade. Let's see the two pieces, the blade and the handle, fit each other. It appeared that they fit together quite well, almost seamlessly. And this means that an Alabastian knife did find its way into Babel. But how? The Steel Samurai's primary weapon, the Samurai Spear. Isn't it awesome? I totally fell for this thing. It's sleek and shiny, just like my heart. It comes at you like whoosh! When you hold it, you just want to live life like BAM! You do well to watch what you say, Larry. Although it is, just as Larry says, the spear is quite the symbol of valor. However, speaking of spears, aren't you supposed to use them by thrusting the point straight into your opponent? I'm not entirely convinced this spear is up to the task. What's wrong, Edgy? It's just staring off into the distance. Oh, I get it. Tell you what, I'll tell you the studio to make you one, okay? But this one's mine. Did I say anything about wanting one? Maybe I can shut him up if I show him the piece of evidence that will point something out about this spear. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Eureka! Larry, about this spear. Oh, are you feeling it? BAM! I thought there was something strange about this spear. Tell me, Larry, is it just me or is the spear a bit bent? What? No way, it's exactly as it should be, yo! I have here the autograph you wrote for me earlier. Now take a good look at this, what you drew with your own hands. You can see that the spear is clearly of a different shape! Ah! What do you have to say to that? I'm sorry! When I hold the spear in my hands, all of a sudden I feel super powerful. And then, during practice, I was spinning it around and around. And BAM! It hit the wall! You unbelievable! This is an embassy! But I've always been like that, ever since I was a kid. One time on an overnight field trip, I bought a fake sword and played with it late that night. I'm just a useless hot-blooded man! Larry, clarify that for me, will you? Okay, so it was some field trip and I began to shadow fight with myself. Not that, I meant what you said earlier about spinning the spear and hitting the wall. Oh, that is no biggie. It's not like I left a hole or anything. That's not why I'm asking, Larry. The samurai spear is made of metal. I somehow doubt that a move as simple as spinning it around would cause it to bend. Man, Edgy, you're so naive. What? Where did that come from? Well, you keep calling it the samurai spear, but it's not real. You can't really fight someone with it, because it's hollow on the inside. You could hit it against practically anything and it would bend. Is that so? Don't tell me you thought it was real. Oh, but don't take it the wrong way. I just think that part of your personality is cute. I see, your friendship truly is something special now, Bedroom. Ah! That's not friendship! It's utter humiliation! Alright, let's take a looky at the body. There we go. So this is the victim, the Master Second. What is with this gaudy outfit? Don't know about Master Mask? A few months ago, this thief caused a lot of havoc on the populace. So this thief is separate from the Yatagarasu? I thought they were for a while, because their MO and targets were different. The Mask likes high-value trinkets and jewels, and being gaudy is his signature. Gumshoe was in charge of that investigation, so he'd know more about the Mask. That's alright, all I probably hear are tales of his failure anyway. You haven't changed a bit, I see. In any case, let's get started here, shall we? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright, let's take a look-see at the face. I thought that the Mask had quit the business. This guy, he's just a copycat using the name. A phony successor. He's just another petty thief. His real identity is an out-of-work guy by the name of Kaishi No. He's 29 and wanted on larceny charges. From his clothes and what he was carrying, we determined that this guy is the real Damask II. The cause of death appears to be the loss of blood from the back of his head. It seems that he was struck with something very hard. In other words, he was bludgeoned to death. Alright, what's this sheet of paper in his hand? What is he holding? It looks like a piece of paper from a notepad. Alabast, Primaduck statue, 5th floor, ambassador's office. It would appear that directions on how to reach this room were written by hand. There's something written on the back as well. I'd like you to steal the Primaduck statue in this room. What is that supposed to mean? Who writes a note to themselves like that? If I had to guess from the text, I would say that this is actually a request from someone about what to steal. Because who is the person that requested the theft of the Primaduck statue? Alright, let's look at the sword. So this is the murder weapon in this case. There's blood on the blade. It's a rather sweeping sword, isn't it? What did you expect? It's Steel Samurai Daddy's secondary weapon. I only call it his secondary because although he uses his sword in most of his battles, it's his trusty samurai spear that he turns to in a real fight. Sure know quite a bit about the Steel Samurai. It's only because I saw the stage show earlier. The owner of this sword is the Steel Samurai, or in other words, Larry. I should probably ask him about it, as detrimental as it is to proving him innocent. Larry, there are a few things I need to ask you about. Hey, how about that? I've got a few things I've got to ask you too. What is it? It's like, both you and him. How is it that the two of you always manage to have some cute or hot girl by your side? And Franzi, what about that promise you made to me? Promise? What promise? One where you said you would model for my next book, Franzi's Whippity Whip Trip. She never said that! No! I made no such promise! Ever since grade school, we've had a certain saying about Larry. When something smells, it's usually the butts. One needs to look no further than this man to find the king of troublemakers. As I recall, aren't you calling yourself Laurice Donum? They got that spelled wrong. And now, that's Donum! Laurice Donum! Get that straight in your head, Edgy. Ow, 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 ow! Now I remember. You're that rude, pale imitation of a real artist. No, no, no! You've got it all wrong! I gave up on that whole Laurice business. Coming! Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. My neighborhood came over to ask if they could borrow a can of corn. Anyways, we're gonna continue. Besides, when Angelina left me and my heart in pieces, that's when Mindy walked into my life. She's been so good to me that I wanted to help her in some way. I figured I could throw this Steel Samurai outfit. Your name blathering makes less and less sense each time we meet. I believe he's saying that he picked up this part-time job at Steel Samurai so that he may attempt to capture the heart of the actress who plays the Pink Princess. You got it! I knew you'd know what I meant, Edgy. Not really. It's not so much as I understood. But a simple deduction based on your usual modus operandi, Larry. Time of the murder. Larry, I'd like you to confess right now to everything you did tonight. Confess? Hey, don't tell me you suspect me too! Nonsense. I don't believe you have the mental acuity needed to plan and execute a murder. However, we are talking about you here, so I find it hard to believe that nothing happened. For past experience has taught me that you are always at the center of some insane event. Edgy! How could you be so mean, stabbing me with your words like that? Unfortunately, I don't have the time to search out a key to unlock your heart this time. So I suggest that you cooperate and tell me what you know. Take me a sip of water. It is hot. Like, I got the AC on full blast and it's been running all day and it's 85 degrees in my room. Ugh. Okay, I get it. Just stop Ramsey from whipping me from behind. So, I guess you know what I did, right, Edgy? I can't even begin to imagine. However, I imagine that whatever you were up to was probably beyond my imagination. So you will tell me what exactly you did, Larry. Nope, not yet, Edgy. It'll take more than that to loosen my lips. A lot more! Confess, now. Okay, well, I was up on the roof. Why exactly were you up there? Oh, you know, that wintry custom of the legendary hero. Legendary? Hero? Santa Claus! Santa Claus? I wanted to do that thing he does, so I climbed up to one of the chimneys. And when I got there was smoke pouring out of the chimney. And, well, I couldn't go down the chimney with smoke coming up, right? So I gave up. Larry, you do realize that Santa Claus does not exist, right? Of course I know! I did graduate from junior high, you know! And you should also understand this. If Santa was real, he would be the biggest unlawful trespasser in history. Aw, crud! It is your attempt to imitate Santa that has landed you as prime suspect in this murder. Come on, man, what's so wrong with pretending to be Santa? Objection! Let's start with the fact that it will be the Ides of March in a matter of hours. Santa only visits home on December 24th. That's in December, you nitwit! No! Hey, wait a sec. We're not in court. Larry, about the samurai sword that was used as a murder weapon. Oh, that. Well, I shook hands with the ambassador in this room, you know? Yes, apparently you did. And, well, I totally forgot about it and left it behind when I left afterwards. You want to talk about shock? I was the most shocked of all when I heard it kill someone. Shocked! Foolish fool, looking especially foolish for foolishly stating such a foolish excuse. You forgot to take something that big with you? Who would believe such a tale? Sorry, Miss Von Karma, but I believe him. Because if anyone could forget something like that, it would be Larry. Edgy, you believe me! Just knew that our friendship is something special. Anyway, even if Larry had simply forgotten the sword and left it behind, that in no way clears his name. Which means that I will have to prove his innocence from a different angle. The person shaking hands with the Steel Samurai in this picture is Ambassador Alba. Taken just before the murder. The Steel Samurai must be very popular. They're even using the National Treasure as a backdrop. I just don't understand. What exactly is so great about Top Knot there? Clearly there's a depth to this show that a young person like you can't fathom. Speaking of young people, aren't young children the target audience of this show of costumed actors? there. It was the exact same statue sitting in the that Babylee's office we examined. It's the Primaduck statue. It is the national treasure of the Principality of Kodofia. There was only one of these statues, meaning that one of the two is a replica. But both Alabast and Babel claim to have the real thing. What an incredibly childish fight to have. I'm willing to bet both are fake. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? It was definitely moved. Look at this photo and tell me what you find odd about this scene, Miss Von Karma. The apparent joy in the ambassador's face as he shakes that top knot's hand? That's not it! I was trying to point out that the statue in the photo is facing a different way! You're right! The statue is a national treasure. As such, only an ambassador or a secretariat-level person is allowed to handle it. The fact that the statue is facing one way in this photo, and now is facing a different direction in this preserved crime scene, is proof that someone touched this statue around the time of the crime! Two gorgeous flowers are in bloom here, full bloom here. I'm sure flowers as lovely as these must have an equally as lovely name. Malzedra, are you done staring? I should hardly think passion flowers are all that rare. Passion flowers? That's a rather unusual name. It was named by priests in the 15th century for the Passion of Christ. As they say, you learn something new every day. I guess that about wraps up my investigation. That's... Yo, Pink Princess! How are you feeling? Still feeling ill? And yet another strange character comes out of the woodwork. So the Pink Princess also comes to pay the Alabaster Embassy a visit. I believe I may need to speak with her as well. Wait! Oh... No, a Vietnam flashback just came to me. This is Wendy Oldbag, isn't it? This is definitely Wendy Oldbag. There's no way this isn't Wendy Oldbag. Oldbag. Anytime they have someone show up like this and Miles Edgeworth is in the picture, it's usually Wendy Oldbag. And this fool thought he was trying to woo the heart of some girl that access her, when in fact it's Wendy Oldbag. Miss Pink Princess, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. Miss Pink Princess, if you would please answer. Me! This must be what they call fate. How could this happen 2 days in a row? What the? Aren't you Miss Oldbag? Are you so surprised? Oh, so you're the one they got to play the Steel Samurai. It's too bad I didn't realize that until now. You're our acquaintances with Larry? Why, yes, we worked at the same company for a little while, you know. That's why it's okay, my edgy poo. You don't need to be jealous. I was in the next room, you know, trying to get in some beauty sleep. But it was so noisy here that I couldn't fall asleep, so I came over to complain. So imagine my shock when I saw my precious edgy poo waiting here for me. I mean, who could have imagined that you would ever come to a show like this? I guess I've misjudged you, Edgy Poo. You misjudged him? I thought he was trying to avoid me, you know? That was no misjudgment on your part. That's precisely what I was trying to do. But it looks like the winds have shifted and he's now willing to be chased after. I'm simply overwhelmed. Don't you worry, Edgy Poo. I chase you forever. To the ends of the earth. Isn't that just peachy? It's one of those rare times when Franziska and I actually see eye to eye. Why? Now then, what are you doing here? I thought you were working at Gatewater Land as the Pink Badger. What are you talking about? That was ages ago! That was yesterday! Look, I worked at Global Studios before, a long time ago, right? they called me up this morning, kind of out of the blue, actually. They called you? Apparently, the girl who plays the Pink Princess collapsed from a bad cold. It happened so suddenly, so they called me in to be her last-minute replacement. Do they not have enough people on staff at that studio? I really couldn't say no, so here I am, playing the role of the heroine. Instead of that Mindy girl, I mean. But the poor girl, I feel bad for her. If they let me stand in for her, she's going to have a terrible time when she returns. I mean, I'm not excited. Oh gosh, he's going off. You're a rather lively old lady. So basically, you received a stand-in request this morning, correct? You got it. If you need to see it, I've got it right here. Look. It appears that she is telling the truth. I tell you, my fine acting moved the entire audience to tears. Yes, tears of laughter, as I recall. But being famous has its problems too, you know. Here, take a look at this. It's a letter from a stalker. That's... I was just taking my break when I found this stuck under the door to my room. Honestly, you really have to watch out for these kinds of things. Look at what it says. Wendy, I'll be descending you from above tonight, your loving knight. How absolutely revolting. I mean, you think he could get my name right. There's no accent in my name. Wait, this horrible handwriting. Where have I seen this before? Ah, but now that you're here, Edgy-Poo, I feel 100% safe. Where do I factor into this? You'd bust that evil stalker man for my sake, wouldn't you, Edgy-Poo? Well, if you allow me the liberty to handle this in my own way, I'll gladly dispatch the detective to your house later. Well, come on, Edgy-Poo, stop being so dismissive and playing hard to get. Brother. Larry! What were you doing at the time of the crime? What crime? What? After the show was over, I've had nothing but free time on my hands. So I used the fireplace in the room next door to keep my bad hip warm. Well, a murder occurred in the room right next to yours. Is that right? Oh, Edgy-Poo, I'm so scared. Hold me. Caress me. If you could please not cling on to my personage. In any case, I take it then that you failed to show up at Ambassador Alba's speech. Oh, that? No, I didn't go. I mean, I may have the heart of a young, tender maiden, but my body just refuses to cooperate at times. As soon as the show ended, my hips started acting up and got stiff. I couldn't move at all. Can you provide proof of your condition? Well, you just go on and hit and ask the doctors in the infirmary. They're the ones who carried me from the theater all the way to this embassy. I have to admit, the thought of her not being able to leave that room is rather pleasant. Prosecutor Von Karma, I've brought the police dog, as you requested, sir. Good work. You may leave now, officer. Doggo! This dog. I requested the assistance of a dog in our search for the Yatagarasu. Looks like you guys have some pretty bright dogs in this country, too. Hey, you're a real cutie, aren't you? Yeah, that's a good boy. That's the police dog Gumshoe's been taken care of. I think his name is Missile. What a fitting name for a police dog that dashes out in front of us in attack. The action alone is exactly what's going to solve the case for us, you know? Now, Missile, I want you to find some clues. Go! Good dog. You really are quite bright, aren't you? Like a certain someone I know. Now, what do we have here? What is this? It looks like a small hot dog, but... Wait, Francisca, isn't that an official samurai dog? Ah, no! Bad Missile! He ate it. I wonder if it's alright for him to eat that. It's just a meat substance snack featuring the Steel Samurai. I'm sure he'll be fine. It's quite a bit of information you gathered there in a single quick glance. We should really be focusing on why there was a samurai dog there in the first place. It looks like that snack wasn't all Missile found. Oh, what do we have here? It appears to be a lady's undershirt. I wonder if Ambassador Alba might have an interest in cross-dressing. I somehow doubt that. It doesn't look like the shirt would even fit him. A samurai dog and a lady's undershirt. What are these two items doing in a room like this? Given the circumstances, the lady's undershirt could only belong to one person. I suppose I should get this over with and ask the owner of said undershirt about it. If you could please take a look at this brown-colored undershirt. Oh, Edgy-Poo, what is the meaning of this? Why did you steal that thing from my bag? All you had to do was ask, and I would have gladly given you as many as you'd like. Thanks, but no thanks. The shirt was found here at the crime scene. At this crime scene. What? Come now, why don't you just confess and explain what's this doing here? I know nothing! Nothing, I tell you! What? Oh, I admit that I used a fireplace to dry that shirt. I can't really help the fact that I had to, you know. Wearing that pink princess costume was like being in a sauna. And on top of that, I get fingered as a suspect? You're too cruel, Edgy-Poo. Are you claiming that you never once set foot inside this room? Of course I am! If I had been the one to find the body, do you think I'd be as calm and relaxed as I am? I tell you, it's always like the— Oh god, she's going off again! Stop! 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 Well, I don't believe she is lying about her actions, so I can safely assume she really was drying her shirt by the fireplace on a break, and somehow the undershirt managed to move from the next room into this one. I assume the samurai dog was also yours. Ah, that brilliant mind of yours. You really could see through everything about me, and so the feeling of dread continues. I suppose I should ask for more details. The samurai dog was yours, wasn't it? Well, of course I'm forever yours, my Edgy-Wedgy-Poo. Hey, if you could just stick to what I asked you! Edgy, are you and Miss Oldbag? No! You really don't change, do you? When will you learn how to take a joke? Anyway, that samurai dog wasn't mine. Those things are a present from the studio to the embassy. A present? The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. I had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them all. Well, studio guys should have delivered those things by themselves, right, Edgy? So did you deliver the samurai dogs to the embassy staff as per your instructions? Hey, Edgy, don't just ignore me and my question. Aren't you going to stick up for me? Yeah, about that. See, after the show, I whipped the rest a spell in the dressing room because of my bad hip, you know? And there they were, the samurai dogs were just sitting on the dressing room floor. I suppose you had to make preparations for distributing them after the show? Well, if by preparation you mean sampling them as well. Excuse me? Well, I tried one and thought they were actually quite good. Sorry, but I just had to find out. I know it was silly of me to think this, but I figured that since they're for a kid show, their taste was probably for kids too. So they were so good that I couldn't stop. Before I went back to my room, I just had to help myself to half a dozen or so boxes. As I sat there by the roaring fire, warming them and eating them, I thought, this is... What is it now? Oh, I know. But you want a box too, don't you, my Edgy-Poo? Well, who am I to say no to? But I'll only give you one. The rest are all for me. Looks like the lesson for today is that when the Steel Samurai and the Pink Princess take off their masks, they transform into a pair of annoying troublemakers. Unfortunately, that is true. Alright! Time for some logic! Alright, so this looks like it would make sense. If there was smoke coming from the chimney, it means that the fireplace that Miss Oldbag was using came from that chimney. And chimney. There's no trace of this room's fireplace being used. And your point is, smoke was supposedly pouring out of the chimney connected to this fireplace. At least according to Larry. This is a contradiction of facts, is it not? Are you sure he wasn't just disoriented or something up on that roof? There's testimony from an investigator that puts Larry at this particular chimney, so no, I don't think it was a mistaken impression on Larry's part. On the other hand, the fireplace in the next room was being used at the time. Where do you suppose the smoke from that fireplace went? Ah, I see. So what you are proposing is this. The smoke that came out of the chimney was actually from Miss Oldbag's fire. So basically, the fireplaces of neighboring rooms share one chimney. Is that what you are implying? Precisely. Lady's undershirt that Missile found. Ah! Why are you getting all excited over holding onto a lady's undergarment? Miles Edgeworth, you uncouth sea slug! If you know the owner of said undershirt, then hurry up and return it to her already. You have it all wrong. This is evidence. And the owner of this piece of evidence was in the room next door. And yet, despite that, Missile found it in the fireplace of this room. This lady's undershirt, are you seriously claiming that it somehow passed through a solid brick wall? Not quite. The fireplace in this room is connected to a chimney. The other fireplace in the other room is also connected to the same chimney, leading us to the possibility that the two fireplaces are connected to each other. Perhaps a closer look at the back of the fireplace is in order. There's an X on the back wall of the fireplace. Let's see if I can't get a better look at it. What in the... The wall separating this room's fireplace from the next room's fireplace apparently turns. As I suspected, this fireplace does indeed connect this room to the neighboring room. A neighboring room? There appears to be nothing particular about the next room. But the fact that there is nothing special about the next room isn't what's important. It's the fact that there is a secret passageway through this room's fireplace. We now know that the fireplace connects the two rooms. How exactly is that significant? You aren't going to suddenly name the old lady as Damas 2's killer now, are you? No, she couldn't move at all because of her stiff hip, so she could not have been the one. Unfortunately, I believe that this fireplace has nothing whatsoever to do with Damas 2's murder. It would appear that the answer has made itself known. You're making quite a confident face there, Mr. Prosecutor. Bring it on! I'm ready to counter any argument you may have. Very well then, if you are prepared, I'll show you exactly where my deductions have led me. Good, I'm counting on you, Edgy. Leave it to me, Larry. My first attack will be to expose your lie for what it really is. My lie?! I know that there is still something you are keeping from the rest of us. What's wrong with you? Why is it you won't believe me no matter what I say, Edgy? Curse you, I should just hurry up and die already if that's how it's going to be. I'll confess to every murder in the whole world, and then kill myself, and throw everything into mass confusion. You made some wonderful friends as a child, I see. Larry, I only have one thing to say to you. Even if you make that face at me, it's no use. A man who is ready to die is strong-willed, you know. Larry, it doesn't matter what sort of harebrained trouble you've caused. I only ask that you do not lie to me. If you cause an innocent person to be judged unfairly because of some insipid lie, I will never forgive you. Edgy! Although, allow me to say that I consider you to be among the innocent in this case, and that I will draw the real killer out. You can trust me on this. Alright, this time I'll tell you the whole truth, okay? What happened, what didn't happen, the works. Just what happened will do. Now then, if you will please testify as to what you did up on the roof tonight. After the show, I left the pushcart in the rose garden and came into the embassy. Then they took a picture of me shaking hands with the ambassador. After that, and until my next appearance, I had some free time, so I wandered around. That's when I spotted the chimney. A chimney like that is a rare thing, you know. So then I wanted to play Santa and decided to give it a try. Larry, I thought I just finished telling you not to lie anymore. But it's kinda ultra embarrassing. And what exactly is so ultra embarrassing that you can't tell me? Edgy, man, I just said it was embarrassing, so of course I can't just blurt it out. So you're just gonna have to reason it out of me! As your superior, I command you to hurry up and expose this man's lie. I have every intention to, for I'm not about to let us waste time on such a trifling matter. Up on the rooftop. Well, with Larry, this is kind of easy. That obvious love letter that Wendy ended up getting was from him because that was his handwriting. So I think the easiest thing to do is to press the statement where he said he was going to be like Santa and go down the chimney. He was obviously doing that to get into her room. Hold it! You suddenly wanted to play Santa? Oh, well, actually, I dressed up as Santa once before already. I was down at Gourd Lake. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't dredge up such unnecessary memories for me. Sounds like you guys share a lot of history. A perk to being childhood friends, huh? Besides, it's not a felony to dress up and play Santa, you know. Santa doesn't go around killing people after he comes down a family's chimney, after all. Actually, is it worth delving into whether or not playing Santa is a big deal? Actually, I believe in the case of this man, playing Santa is actually quite a big deal. Are you saying that your buddy isn't exactly made of Santa quality stuff? Precisely, you hit the nail on the head, playing. Hey, Edgy, that's so incredibly mean! Tell me something, Larry. Did you know that Santa's job is to deliver presents to people all over the world? Of course I know that! I did graduate from junior high, you know! In that case, it's your turn to tell me something. I want you to tell me to whom you were delivering a present to. I was, delivering a present to a child, not basking in the warm glow of love?
Objection!
That must be the most elegant description of you I've ever heard, but a lie is still a lie. You sure know how to kick a guy when he's down, you know that? In any case, the person you wished to deliver a present to was most certainly this.
Take that!
Interesting taste you have there, Mr. Suspect. Don't spread lies about me! I totally didn't want to see Miss Oldbag so much that I tried to go down a chimney! Ow! I advise you to stop right there in your bashing of a lady. But I must admit that I myself hardly ever have the want to run into that lady. However, what if you were misinformed and under the wrong impression? Then what? Define wrong impression. I simply mean that the man before you thought to enter the old lady's room without knowing one very important fact. And that fact is best summed up with this. He didn't know that it was actually Wendy there. This is something the old lady received from her employer for the night. The girl who normally plays the Pink Princess, Mindy, was it again? It seems that this man is quite taken with that actress. But that's not true, Edgy. She's the one with the hots for me. I just know it. I can feel her sexy beam piercing my heart when she's watching me. Sexy beam, I tell you! You filthy, despicable, inconsiderate, fickle, idiotic, cowardly apparition of a man! You haven't matured at all since we last met. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes. This guy, he's got bigger problems than just getting involved in murders, I take it. I suppose you could put it that way. Hey, what the heck, man? I don't get you guys at all. Why do you all have to make me out to be some sort of bad guy? To return to the original topic, I propose that at least this much has been made clear. Without any knowledge that Miss Mindy had fallen ill, Larry tried to make his way to the Pink Princess's room. That much we know for sure. Hey, Edgy, looks like I've got the hang of this court thing now. But we're not in court at the moment. Shut up! I see what's going on here, and it looks just like what you do in court. I guess old boy here still has something he'd like to say. Lang Z says, until the root of the tongue dries, one never knows the whole truth. You shouldn't form conclusions until everything is out in the open, which is why I'll listen. Alright, then get ready to listen to me defeat Edgy in a battle of wits. Larry, have you forgotten that should I lose, your victory prize will be your arrest? Larry's assertion. So you think that all I wanted to do was to go visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney. Well, the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. Then to top it all off, I became a suspect in a murder. That's what you really meant. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? Because you're you? Hey, someone say something! Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this not as a confession but as testimony? But what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that? So it was you! You're my stalker! But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I'm the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man and one man only. And as long as Edgypoo is alive, I can't just drop him and be unfaithful. No, I can't. Although earlier I was tempted. Oh God, she's going! I can't keep up! Ah! I'm so inspired! You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around completely worthless man! I thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. I believe there's nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you've still got something to prove. You still have to show me some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say? Remember, Edgy, everything is evidence in court, right? You mean evidence is everything in court, Larry? But I understand your point. Yeah, see? I'm totally a pro at this now. Very well. If you wish to see the evidence, then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. Yes, you wanted to, see her, and here is the proof. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter. Hey! Whoa! Why are you showing that thing to me? Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight, your loving knight. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend on her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight? Ah! I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember a thing. You can pretend to be ignorant all you like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Miss Mindy a visit. What part of this letter shows that the person Larry had intended? And God, your handwriting sucks.
Take that!
Larry, I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again. What the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English! You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became Wendy to the average eye. Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing! There. Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they? For punching. But that will have to wait until we're off of this crime scene. Eddie, save me from the scary man! Sure, if you're willing to make amends, starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake! That wasn't me! Come again? It's a fake! Someone's out to get me! Somebody made that fake letter! To set me up! Accept your defeat graciously! But you guys are being so mean!
Hold it!
Penmanship analysis. What's that? No matter who, all people have certain unique features to their handwriting. That is true! Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours, and we'll know soon enough who it was that sent this letter. I'll never write another thing in my life! It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight, for you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting.
Take that!
This autograph in our mysterious letter. If we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure! I'm sorry! I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head, Edgy. So he finally confesses. I saw the Pink Princess being carried around in a stretcher and got worried, alright? I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or a bust, Edgy. Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney? What a criminally overactive imagination. Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked when I came down through the chimney. Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment. I'm really sorry. Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me, because at the very least I could attest to that about you. Edgy, you're... Ah! We've lost a lot of valuable time because of you. Ow! In any case, I believe we could say that we now know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Butts sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but to enter the room with the elderly lady next door. Great job, Mr. Prosecutor, although I still find it a bit unbelievable that two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay? Ow! Hey, what? Edgy, what does the Wolfman mean when he says I'm not off the hook yet? He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head. That's exactly what I mean. We can't only rely on the words of the suspect, after all. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing, but the blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene, as long as there's no satisfactory explanation for that, The wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite. Ah! Eddie, that guy looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me! I'm well aware. You should be as well. This upcoming battle will be crucial. Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely Bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got! I could easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon, but the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble. This is one game I can't afford to lose. Why Larry? I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damask II. Beside him was a samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the steel samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Butts, in here too. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on. Hold it! If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that! Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are longtime friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence? You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. But come on, I can't think of something as complicated as that, right, Eddie? Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you, or me for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being, meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damask II. Beside him was a samurai sword, glittering red, and offering up the sense of blood. Okay, let's talk about that. Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood? Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the test, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp, but it is pretty weighty. It's certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with, which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Beside him was a samurai sword, covered in the victim's blood. I suspect he beat the victim to death with that thing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Right! This can't be the real weapon. Because all of the samurai weapons are hollow. It would have cracked! And cracked if it was swung with considerable force. No! Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this piece of evidence, you see that there is a very big flaw in your logic. Flaw? Are you sure it's not your eyes that are flawed? Talk to me again when you can see straight. Oh! Maybe this wasn't the piece I was looking for after all. Wait a minute. I suspect he beat the victim to death. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong one. I should have presented it here.
Objection!
Do you know what this is, Agent Lang? It's a long spear, right? We used to use those a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down, spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So what's your point? Are you going to tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently, a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier. And as you can clearly see, the insides of the steel samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow, let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet, there's not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that? Oh yeah, the sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easy. I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, but the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move, and I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. The Steel Samurai's special move was changed tonight because of him? Ouch! That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se. All I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. Even though, to be fair, he was forging evidence throughout most of that, so... Can we really consider his win streak to be genuine? Perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken. No one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There is nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory. That may be your opinion, however, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards it. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump, and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damask too without bending it. So, what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need? Of course, what I need is evidence even he can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Why Larry Part 2? It's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone, and under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy, top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? How long do you intend to cling onto that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned, and we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion, that the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword. You left no stone unturned? Is that a fact? If you got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. It's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone, and under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. Really? Hold it! The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword? That's right, even with luminol, which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with Agent Flang's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon? Yes! If you believe that there is no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open. Not so fast! And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. Not so fast! Ha! The real murder weapon. I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they've concluded that nothing else could have been used as a weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course, because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation, especially considering when you think of the fact that one thing in this entire room has moved, but it can only be touched by specific people. Not so fast! What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men! I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigation, Dragnet, has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damask 2. What exactly is it? A real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is this.
Take that!
The national treasure of Alabast. You mean the Primaduck statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which I believe means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babel. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. And I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined.
Hold it!
Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different, and there is only one conclusion I could draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words! He is most definitely trying to trick you! Shifu, please let's be rational about this! Grr! Wang Zi says! Just go already! Yes, sir! Shifu. Yeah? I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Primaduck statue. I see. Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill! Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing the whole country, you know? Agent Lang, what do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. What? But Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet! I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If you're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then, let's talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a chemiluminescent test on the statue. A luminol test. Ah, good thinking. If the statue is a murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay! Let's get the forensics team in here. Heh! Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. Guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Damask 2. Indeed. I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. It doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damask 2, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining the statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Huh, you think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. Ooh, there's a handprint here. What do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint? What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyze. Worst case scenario, this print belongs to Larry. It looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. Hey, forensics guy, I want results of these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir. Good, and? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Babylese embassy? The prints belong to him, to Mr. Manny Koken, sir! But that's... What's going on around here? No, that's impossible! Each Primaduck statue can only be handled by someone of that country. Besides the very fact that Mr. Koken's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babel's Primaduck statue. Impossible! It can't be! Hiya! Larry never once set foot on Babylese soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an Alabastian knife in Babel. And Damask II was killed on Alabastian soil with Babel's national treasure. In the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu, who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big pictures they were to form. Whew! Alright, and with that, we're going to save and call it quits for today. So thank you all for watching, and as always, your host, TheAmariaShadow, signing along Z, and I'll see you for the next adventure. Goodbye, everyone!